These are mini sweet peppers that I started from seed, and a couple weeks ago I transplanted them into these 6-pack cells, and they look really good, so I'm excited for that. So today I worked on getting this grass cleared on this onion row, because it looked like these 2 rows, which is just a hot mess, but I got all the grass cleared out and now it looks gorgeous. I probably should mulch it with something like grass or pine needles or something to keep the weeds down on the rows. That probably would be helpful. But I do have some onions down here that are bulbing up. Look how nice that is. These are our only sweet onions. These 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest of these are red onions in this row. And I think I saw one in here that was starting to bulb up. I think it was this one here. So that was a nice little thing to see. So I know they're doing something under there. Our strawberries have really slowed down. They kind of went through the probably from like April to the end of May. So those have kind of petered out now. I only picked a small handful today, and I'll leave the varieties linked in the description box below. But those are the rest of our onions up there. Those are yellow, white onions, and then on the other side is garlic. These 2 rows here just need to be weeded out and planted with something, so it's not wasted space. I have a romaine lettuce there that needs to come out. Looks like I have a little volunteer petunia right here. So I'll try and save that. Got some volunteer tomato plants in here too. But over here in this row, just in the middle of it, I threw some carrots in, and they are growing beautifully, and they are making beautiful carrots down there. I stuck my finger down there to see. So those are doing real well. So I want to plant more of those. I think I'm going to try and plant some more of those like this here shortly. But over here, I have all the collards. I need to save some seed from them, and then I'm going to pull them all out because they have powdery mildew and they need to go. On the other side of these collard greens, we have summer squash, so it's like a mixture of, zucchini and yellow squash. And the plants just don't look that good. I know the weeds are in here, but they shouldn't be looking so spindly. So I don't know what the deal with that is. They kind of look real yellow, so I don't know if I need to try and find like a liquid fertilizer, or not exactly sure what to do there. But yeah, they just all look pretty yellow. Now over here I had green beans planted, and these ones never came up. These were jade bush beans, and so what I did instead is I planted hold on, what did I plant here? I think I planted butternut squashes. That's what these are. These are butternut squashes. It's a winter squash. And I planted them in this row, and they've come up. Every single one of them have come up in this row. And so I'm pretty excited for that because we like that pretty good. We've never grown it before, but we'll see how that happens. And then this was our second row of green beans, and those barely came up either. I have a couple of plants in here, and they have some blossoms, but I just can't seem to grow them to save my life. So what I did this year is I tried putting them directly in compost, and I tried soaking the seeds. So whether I soak them or not, I still have terrible germination, so I really thought it was my soil, so I put them directly in compost, but I'm still having an issue with them. So these were Blue Lake bush beans that came up. So out of the few bush beans that I have up, they are Blue Lakes, but those jades never came up. So right next to my green beans, or my lack of green beans, I have honeynut squashes planted. I have 2 rows of that, and these are amazing. I love them. And so here's a little squash right here, little squash right there of honeynut squashes. Now these are not butternuts, these are honeynuts. I think it's a hybrid, but you can get them from Gurney's or from Baker Creek. I got mine from Baker Creek this year. I will leave them linked down below where you can get them, because I just highly recommend, and I love them so much. They're only 5 to 6 inch long fruits, but they are so good. So really like them. They are super tasty, and they grow pretty well down down here. So I think I have 33 plants between these rows total. And I'm hoping to get a good harvest from them this year. So I did have somebody ask me about the mulch in these pathways on Instagram. And so what this is basically just dead grass. So we broke up some new ground outside of the garden fence, and it was for corn, pumpkins, watermelons. And when we did it, we just tilled it up and then we raked all the grass out. And so that is what this is back here, is just the grass that's been raked out. And it died and it was like real crispy, so I threw it down to see if that would work to help block weeds. And my mom was afraid that it would take root, and it hasn't taken root, but it's not suppressing the weeds underneath. So I have this grass here, and I'll turn you around so you can see it. I have this grass here, that's not it. Here it is. I have this grass here, and I have no idea what type of grass it is, to be honest with you, but honestly, it is the worst possible grass. It is impossible to pull up. It's a pain in the rump. I always call it bamboo grass because I have no idea what it is, and it kind of looks like bamboo to me. And it runs rampant in this garden, and it's just growing right up through this grass. So when I pull the grass back, you can see it's just growing underneath all of the dead grass. So as for a weed suppressant, it does not work for that. But it is very cushy to walk on and very enjoyable. So, yeah. This pathway between the two honeynut squashes, I do have some wood chippings and like mulch, and I ran out. So that was partly the reason why I used it. But that does pretty well. That is under cardboard. So maybe if I had put cardboard down on this, it might have done a better job, but can't go back. I mean, I guess I could pull it out. Got more petunias down there that I need to move. So then we have our black-eyed peas here and here. I have about 2/3 of the row I got done, but I ran out of seeds, so I just need to plant the other 1/3 of this row. The okra that I replanted has come up beautifully. I had to replant this, so now I just need to, and really what it's come down to at this point in the garden is I have it all planted. I just need to start doing some major weeding out here, but I did manage to get all of the tomatoes planted. So between these 4 rows of tomato plants, I have about 133 tomatoes between these 4 rows. And I just have those left to plant, and I will do a quick turnaround. These were peas that died, and I've just come in here and I've planted a bunch of Cherry Gardener's Delight pink tomatoes, and I have about 38 of them going all the way down to then where the peas are back there. But yep, that's what's going on over here. These are Cherry Gardener's Delight pink tomatoes. I have some early girls. I have some better big boys, Romas, beefsteaks, black crims, grape tomatoes, Cherokee purples. Just a whole nice collection of tomatoes going on out here. And I am pretty excited. This one is a grape tomato with some blossoms on there, so that's fun. I got my first initial prune in last night, and now I need to come out here. I'll probably do it tomorrow because they're looking kind of desperate, some of these. You can see here how they're getting all viney. We don't want that, so I will come out here and I'll try and start the tying up process, and then probably get to some weeding as well. So these are the plots that we broke up for corn, watermelon, pumpkins, outside of the garden fence. And we had a whole bunch of different varieties of corn out here, but none of them ended up coming up at all. So actually today I just replanted Silver Queen corn in all 10 of these rows. So we'll see if those end up coming up. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But right over here in this first kind of like square, we have pumpkins. So anywhere there's a blank space, I'll just grab some pumpkin seed, pop it in there, and help fill it out. And I'll do the same with the watermelons down there. But I have one Big Max pumpkin that came up. I have 2 Connecticut field pumpkins. There's an itty bitty one right there. And then there's a really good decent sized one right there. Then I have some small sugar pumpkins, which those are like pie pumpkins. So those have come up real good. Once again, right here. And then these here are some saved pumpkin seeds that we saved from a pumpkin. And those are just so big and beautiful. And those are doing the best out of all of them, to be honest. So those came up really good. Then over here with the melons, we have some Crimson Sweet, which that's my favorite variety. We have 3 up in this hill, 1 over there. We have some Charleston Gray, which I like those pretty good. We have some Jubilees, which those are supposed to be, those are supposed to taste just like the Crimson Sweet, which I grew them last year and they do, but they are like an oblong, long-shaped tomato. Not tomato, shoot, I got tomatoes on the mind. Those are like a long-shaped watermelon, like the Charleston Grays. So that's a fun little thing. And then we have some Sugar Baby watermelons over here. So this is like the, from the road up there's perspective, the dirt road's perspective, this would be the side of the garden. So that is what I will call this, the side. There's our compost bins up there. On the fence, but this is planted on the inside now, we have some cantaloupes planted, and then we have some cucumbers in here, which I'm going to come and do a bunch of replanting again. But over here, we have a cut flower garden planted, and I don't know how well it's going to do, but, you know, we'll see. We have some sunflowers planted in here that have come up. They're doing pretty well. Then we have some cosmos. There's a little cosmos right there. That's a pink cosmos. Then we have some more zinnias, or some zinnias in here, which this variety was supposed to be candy striped, and I think I only have one up right there, so oh well. And then we have some more cosmos here. This variety is like a more sunset gold, orangey colored one. And then a ton of zinnias just came up. We've had nothing but crazy amounts of rain, and you can just see all these itty bitty ones that came up. So we had these big ones up, but then these little ones started coming up. So that's really exciting. So hopefully we shall have lots and lots of pretty zinnias for cut flowers. And then lastly, we have these pea plants, which actually, let me walk around this way. We have these pea plants, and they have started, I know when I showed them last that they were just like probably about yay tall, and now they're this big, and they're actually here ready to be pulled out here very shortly. They're starting to pitter out. But these are what's on the other end there with those tomatoes that I planted. It went right into these sugar and peas, and they have done a wonderful run for us this year. I'm going to still try and plant fall peas, I think. I'm going to try starting them indoors and putting out some bigger plants, but they've done really well. And that is everything growing in the garden. Fingers crossed, maybe we'll get some pumpkins this year. That has been a struggle for me, so hopefully we'll get some of those. But thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend it with me. It really does mean a lot. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to hit that big red subscribe button. It's free. And hit the bell icon so you get notifications every time that I upload a brand new video. And if you know anything about growing green beans, tips, tricks, advice, I am open to it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all later. Bye.